Hey friend, welcome back to our Believing Wives YouTube channel. I am Deborah Cheek, founder of Believing Wives, a ministry designed to empower wives to embrace the power of God and harness that power to change our homes and the world. We're in the middle of a series on unmet expectations in marriage. Last week, we highlighted unrealistic expectations, and I encourage you to go back and check that out. But today, I want to highlight another issue with our expectations. I want to give you an example before I tell you what that is. I was riding with my son and my daughter, and my son was making comments about the fact that my daughter and I had gone to Chick-fil-A. He was saying things like, "Oh, I bet that was nice. It would have been nice if I would have gotten something to eat. I like Chick-fil-A," and things like that. Finally, I said, "Son, if you want something to eat, just say so. You know I'm going to take you to get something to eat if you're hungry." We laughed about it, and of course I took him to get something to eat. But it reminded me of a phrase I've often heard in my Southern upbringing. Closed mouths don't get fed. Have you ever heard that phrase? The Bible says it this way in James 4:2. It says, "You lust and do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask." You do not have because you do not ask. Many times, our expectations go unmet because they have gone unspoken. Maybe we dropped hints. Maybe we huffed and puffed, thinking our anger was going to do the communicating for us. Maybe we were seething silently, but if we didn't open our mouths and express our thoughts, they were likely to go unmet. See, we still want our husbands to read our minds. We think they should know us by now, and they should pick up on our behaviors. We think they should pick up on our subtle hints and follow our breadcrumbs of information like clues to what we really want. I know I'm guilty of creating expectations in my mind of how I want things to go. I drop hints, I huff and I puff, and then I get upset when things don't fall into the plan that I had in my mind, but I never shared with anyone else. Do you know what can prevent our husbands from becoming frustrated, and what can prevent us from becoming frustrated with them, with their lack of detective skills? Just saying what we mean. Just asking for what we need. Just communicating our expectations. Opening our mouths and expressing ourselves honestly, transparently, saying how we feel, telling them what we want, what we would like. See, it takes less effort and eliminates unnecessary drama if we just say what we mean. Though James 4:2 is telling us to ask God for what we want, it gives us a principle that definitely applies to our relationships. We fight for things we don't have when we simply could have asked for it in the first place. We get upset, we get disappointed about things not going our way when we simply could have asked in the first place. We feel heartbroken when we don't get what we want, but we never expressed our desires. We get upset when boundaries are crossed, when we never established them in the first place. I want today to be the day that we say no more, that we make a decision to be clear and direct, to have open and honest communication about what we want, what we need, and even what we expect. And here's the thing, even if we're expecting something that may not be given to us, or we're expecting something that might be unrealistic, if we communicate it, then we can have a discussion about that and come to some sort of agreement or consensus so that we're no longer upset unnecessarily. I want you to have open and honest conversation and say what you mean, but here's the caveat. Don't say it in a mean way. Say what you mean, but don't say it mean. So take some time this week to evaluate if your expectations have been unspoken. Did you just think them, or did you clearly communicate them? Are you dropping breadcrumbs and hints, waiting for your husband to be a detective and figure it out? Or are you just saying it outright? Are you being forthcoming about how you feel? Have you clearly communicated, or are you just expecting things that are all in your head? Go back, catch some of our previous videos, make sure your notifications are on, and share our resources with a friend. You can find them listed in the description below this video. I want you to keep learning and keep growing, sis. Remember, changed wives change lives.